Ninth career final, originally from Hacienda Heights, California, an All-American at Pepperdine, and now an assistant coach and resident of Provo, Utah. And the father of 3, so he likes getting in these finals. Nice dig by Troy. And on the board first, Stoklos and Tanner take the 1-0 lead.
Could this be the time? 0-8, great dig by Troy Tanner. Randy Stoklos with those sweet hands puts him right on for the 1-0 lead.
Remember, we talked right at the beginning of this competition here in Cleveland how you would attack Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes. Right now, Tanner trying to make something happen against Jose Loyola. Not a good set, and Jose Loyola bangs that ball out of bounds. A pretty slow, pretty boring looking start.
Perfect. Snore him to sleep and then get him.
Now, you used to be great at controlling the tempo of a match, slowing things down. Do the referees allow you to do that as much anymore? Did you ruin it for everybody else?
I kind of ruined it for everybody. But they'll have a wake-up call here. And there's a nice fight by Jose Loyola. Sometimes you start out a little sluggish. You won the winner's bracket. Your body's not ready to play. Takes him a couple points to get going. Nice cross-court rip by Jose Loyola, 27 years of age, 6'4", 195 pounds.
And I mentioned that Randy Stoklos was the first ever millionaire on the AVP Tour. Well, yes. Jose Loyola is the most recent. He becomes the 9th player with his winnings from last week of $30,000. The 9th all-time millionaire. Nice play by Jose Loyola. Those are the kind of plays that I think they make that nobody else does.
A spinning Michael Jordan 360 into the deep corner. Great set here by Kent on the net. Spinning, turning, ripping it down the line. Point, 1-2.
Teams can stay with Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes at seats for a while. No. Cut shot by Randy Stoklos, unforced error. Tied at 2.
And not making easy mistakes like that. Randy's thinking about that. Nice, easy cross-court shot. Put it in the top of the net. You can't give away points, and you must make your transition points effective, 90% of them.
These two teams played twice last week in Chicago in the semifinals and the finals. Ooh, that ball is roofed, and it was just a moment ago. 2-0. Steffes and Loyola were down 2-0, and boy, just like that, Steffes and Loyola come back, and our first side change here in Cleveland at the Miller Lite AVP Championship. 3-2 lead by Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. Remember, the winner will take home $20,000. The Steffes and Loyola fan club certainly does spread to Cleveland, Ohio. Just another front runner. But then we'll take a look at that last block by Kent Steffes and see why. Partially, anyway, this team's been so good.
Watch Kent's feet. He moves to the outside, then he penetrates over the net. This is the perfect block. Ball set, moves his feet, gets up and over. Monster block.
Kent Steffes plays with, a lot of people think, the most gifted athlete on the tour right now in Jose Loyola. But you forget what kind of athlete that Kent Steffes is. He can run, he can jump, he trains like a mad dog. I mean, he is a really, really gifted athlete, and it was his same fate when he played with Karch Kiraly, because everybody talked about Karch's athleticism, but Kent in his own right is superb.
You didn't win 95 Opens and not be superb. Kent is a leader out there. He's more experienced right now. Just a great all-around player.
No one.
Nice swing by Troy Tanner. And Tanner and Stoklos, and particularly Troy Tanner, and we were talking about the numbers from last week. Troy Tanner got 26 serves in the finals in Chicago, but only had 12 kills. Now out here you want to have about 70-75% ratio.
If you're 50%, you're out of the running real quick. Nice serve by Stokey.
Making Steffes move to pass serve. I think that's essential.
Go for it.
Boy, pretty good dig by Randy Stoklos, and Troy Tanner just running out of room. If it's 12-all, I think you got to go in the crowd after that. But it's still early here, only down by 1.
Nice tee-up serve, short drop off the net. Better pass by Kent. That's what they have to do. They have to make Kent move his feet and not pass the ball precisely. If they do, it's over. Nice drop.
Kill by Randy Stoklos. If you're Steffes and Loyola, who do you serve, and beginning, middle? What's your strategy from their point of view against Tanner and Stoklos?
I think at every time you're playing a team, you just got to feel him out. If Randy has a little funk going, you stay on Randy. If Troy's not signing out, you stay on him. and then you work the lines in the middle. Make them move towards the line, then you come down the middle with the husband and wife.
Tanner having a good year serving the ball, among the leaders in terms of aces. That ball hit off of Randy Stoklos inside. We'll give you some of those totals. Troy Tanner right now has 89 aces, I should say, and 45 stuff blocks. Of course, we're keeping track via the BMW Ultimate Player List, which combines both blocking and aces.
Jose Loyola leads in the aces with 145 aces, 59 blocks, which is sixth. And his partner Ken Steffes, 68 blocks and 86 aces. Good combination.
Well, and clearly the best serving team on the beach. Steffes going hard and deep cross court.
I cannot tell you how difficult that shot was. Back over his head, seeing the corner and drilling it in the deep right corner. Tough shot to do.
That was a great shot. If the pass was perfect and the set was perfect, but that ball coming over Kent Steffes' head, very, very difficult to execute. Talked about how good this team serves. You really have to work to pass the ball. Tanner cut shot. Tanner hard cross court. Tanner's the key. You might as well point fingers right now early and say, look, if he's able to side out and make some things happen defensively and serving, then Stoklos and Tanner have a chance. If he struggles like he did last week, they have no chance.
They're going to put the pressure on Troy to start with, I think, just to feel him out, see if he's up to his game, if he has his game face on. If not, they'll just keep on him the whole game. But he's playing pretty well right now.
Nice. Steffes takes a look. Tanner must have touched it. And Tanner into the net. Now, just an absolute micro touch. We are high above center court. We couldn't detect it, but how often when you had a micro touch would you just chance it and set the ball anyway?
Well, you know, sometimes you get the feel from the referee. You take a look at him. If it's just a micro touch, you barely felt it anyway. Go and set that ball.
Well, put the pressure on the ref
exactly.
to make the call.
It's a difficult decision to make. Nice set.
That is a sweet set by Troy Tanner. Is this the best setting team on the beach right now? Troy Tanner and Randy Stoklos?
Best setting team? Possibly. You have Brian Lewis, probably a great pair of hands. Scott Akatawi, when they're playing together, they're probably the best setting team on the beach.
I would agree with that. Unfortunately, Ack is not with us this week. Injury problems. And that one, Randy Stoklos, right in the breadbasket.
Got a little overbaked in there. Didn't come back out. As you can see, 3-2, Steffes and Loyola. 6:07 left.
Kent Steffes back. He will eventually toe the service line.
A little tight.
Make the slightest mistake, and Steffes and Loyola will make you pay. Nice pokey by Troy Tanner. Steffes and Loyola had the chance to score, and Tanner and Loyola keeping in contact after the first side change. A lot of time off the Swatch game clock, and they only trail by one, 3-2.
Nice set by Stokey, and Tanner holds off, not going in the net. Nice cross-court drill. Super wash, car wash, you can see on Troy Tanner.
Jose Loyola off the top. The first time we saw Tanner and Stoklos together was in Dallas when they lost to Dodd and Whitmarsh in a single elimination tournament. But then shortly thereafter we saw them in Corpus Christi in absolutely killer heat, and Troy couldn't finish. Is he in much better shape now than he was then?
I think so. I think he's putting more time on the beach at the peak hours of the heat. Cross-court ace by Loyola, and he looks to be very fit right now. When you're just coming from Provo, it's a different heat. Watch this cross-court. Tough serve by Loyola.
Jose Loyola.
Nobody touched it, just barely getting a hand on it. Quick ace, 4-2.
He's hitting it from such a high point. Last week in Chicago, Steffes and Loyola came out so focused and so fired up for the finals, and I talked to Troy Tanner about it, who opposed them in that championship. He says, hey, hadn't seen anybody serve the ball like that on a natural beach in a long time.
This is a real good sand we're playing on here in Cleveland. Real coarse, really nice, just like a natural beach. And Jose gets up so high, he puts on so much spin on it, Very difficult to play.
This is where I think the mismatch comes in. Although Troy Tanner is a solid 6'3½", 6'4", I don't think he can match up blocking-wise against either Steffes or Loyola.
I had a talk with Randy earlier, and we were talking. I said, if you get to 10-10, I would take over the net. You're the stronger blocker. Make the jump serve, and if they're serving you, you can side out and use it, but not the whole game from 10 on. Serves like that, it's tough.
Working on Stoklos again. Pretty good one-arm pass, and then he brings the heat.
You got to have a different outlook. If you've lost him 4 times, you got to change it up a little bit. See what Randy's got up his sleeve.
Mentioned that Troy Tanner in his 9th career final, he had 2 seconds in 94, those with Wes Welch, 2 seconds in 96, both of those with Rob Heiger, one in Santa Cruz and one in Milwaukee. Tournament in Santa Cruz, of course, had $100,000 at stake, so that was a tough one to take. Also 2/3 in 1995 with Wes Welch, so he has been near the top. He just has not been able to break through.
He's been around it. He wants to taste the Covenant Cup.
Jose Loyola doing a little housekeeping. And last year won $297,000, already at $209,000 this year. Of course, he won a lot of money at the King of the Beach. He was this year's King of the Beach in Las Vegas, won about $75,000. Break for Tanner. Not such a break after that. It's like he gave up on that play. He's got to finish that play out.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Nice set by Randy right there. This is when he has to take a little bit off it. Nice set. Steffes is set up on him. Try to go off the top. Or a good soft shot. Nice penetration by Kent, throwing it back down. 5-2.
And Randy Stoklos, very, very nice play. But, you know, getting back to that, Tanner shanked the pass. It went up and very softly hit the top of the tape. That's when you have to really re-gear and work to get back into your approach. It's like he didn't really give a good jump.
Little points like that make it, in the long run, are huge.
The lead now is 5-2. So if we'll go back to the beginning of this match, when Tanner and Stoklos led 2-0, you do the math. They've been outscored 5-0. There's Randy Stoklos, and now his very, very famous headband, and wondering where these guys are going to work me this time. Go deep middle to Tanner. And that's your high flat shot.
That's the one he needed to be for. That's a good, hard, high toolage off the top. But you can feel sometimes when that's a trap set like that, you're coming in late, you know the block's there. That's when you think, go off the top, go over there easy, go easy, go someplace.
But don't get stuffed.
Don't get roofed.
You can see that Troy Tanner making an adjustment from last week, and something you really have to do against the best team on tour. And last year, Tanner and Stoklos ripped jump serves, but right at Steffes and Loyola. That does not work. You got to move them around.
Moving their feet is the key to success on service. Nice.
Stoklos pinging that ball down. And also, I think we're seeing the best volleyball out of Jose Loyola because he's only blocking half the time.
Yeah. Well, he's fresh. They've been sitting for 2 hours, ready to play, and they got so much enthusiasm between them. They start off a little flat. They've come back, now lead 5-2. Once they start yelling at each other, they really bring up their game.
Stoklos just missing there. He's had a very good season serving as well. Stoklos and Tanner, one of the better serving teams. Stokey had 76 aces on the year coming in. And I mentioned that Troy Tanner, his partner, had 89. But this is the best serving team, Steffes and Loyola. That ball ripped by Troy Tanner.
Spike from the right side by Troy Tanner.
That's the good shot. Randy's still got some sweet paws out there. As far as the best setter on the beach, he's right up there.
They're very quiet. This is about as quiet as it's been for 3 days here in Cleveland, but a long side-out streak can really do that. And it seems like the team that captures the moment, captures the next point, can capture the momentum. And we'll see if Tanner and Stoklos can capitalize on that shot.
You just jinxed Ken Steffes right there with that.
I'm not sure I had anything to do with that. I think that that was just a bad cut shot, or maybe Stoklos intimidated him into that.
He hit about off his hip in the middle of that net.
Come right back, Troy Tanner, with the service error here.
4th service error. Randy has 2. You know what I propose? Have 7 missed serves, and then if you miss another serve after that, make it a point. It's like a double fault. There's a nice touch shot.
Well, I'd have to think about that for a while. You mentioned it to me earlier in the day. I want to think about that one. I was talking to Karch earlier as well, and he said, I'll tell you, Paul, it just keeps going, how important jump serving is. I will take 3 aces, and I'll miss 10. I don't care if I miss 10. If you don't score and keep up with the top teams in terms of jump serving, you can't win out here anymore. So teams are taking a lot more chances. Good shot down the line.
It is more shoot from the hip. They're going for it. You know, before it was more controlled. But this is what I like. Good digs like that from Troy Tanner. Cuts the ball back down. Loyola's right there. Steffes lines it up, puts it on, and Loyola puts it away.
Talk about Kent Steffes' line shot. Jose Loyola's got a very good one as well.
Well, it's up about 13 feet.
Stokey off the top of Jose Loyola for the side out. Mentioned that Troy Tanner is the father of 3, has twin 6-year-old sons Carson and Riley and a daughter Bailey.
Troy Tanner serving 35.
He says that it's like the WWF when he gets home. Toys everywhere, kids flying.
Well, Troy's
gotta love it.
Got a home in Southern California now and in Provo, and sort of moving back and forth. His family is still living in Provo full time. He's an assistant at BYU. It makes it tough. It's tough on him because I think he knew early on when he and Randy started doing well that he was going to have to spend more time away from home. He was not going to be able to go back to Provo during the week and still train and compete the way he wanted to on the weekends. Nice play. But Troy Tanner doesn't make that play a month ago.
No, that's a great play. Gets to the outside. Good hustle. Big side out. As you said, he has to get down to the beach and train. This is why he makes plays like this. Nice set, sees the block, right down the middle, side out.
Still 5-3. Steffes deep down the middle, and both these teams really playing superb volleyball. And what happens when you start playing offensively at this level, the scoreboard just doesn't move, and so everybody just sort of real quiet right now here at the Nautica Complex in Cleveland, right down on the Cuyahoga River, sort of waiting for something to bubble up to the top.
Well, the wind has really died down, so there's not as many aces going on right now. And they're having good passing. And when they get a good pass and get a good set, it's very difficult to stop either one of these players.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Have a swatch, watch, sand, timeout. You saw the flags in the background just blowing the slightest little bit. During our semifinal that was won by Tanner and Stoklos over Adam Johnson and Karch Kirai, the wind, particularly early on, was a big factor, and it was much earlier today, but things have, I mean, it's virtually still, I think, down on center court.
Look at that old drawbridge. We got great surroundings here in Cleveland, the steel mill capital. I guess Pittsburgh is, but name it Cleveland for one.
Well, we're here. We just made it. Wow, nobody up, and Randy Stoklos hits that in the top of the tape. Tough ball to hit coming over his shoulder, and right now, after a long side-out streak by both teams, obviously, Steffes and Loyola register their 6th consecutive, or they've outscored Tanner and Stoklos 6-1. Nice play by Troy Tanner.
Bringing up the line with him, almost tripped him. Kept his concentration, put that ball on the sand. Troy's got to rev it up a little bit. Go for it. He's missed a few serves. To beat this team, he's got to serve 3 or 4 aces, and not like that.
But I like the thought. It was just wide and well back off the service line and trying to move Kent Steffes with the floater as deep as he could.
Kind of like an old indoor serve, moving back off the line, making the floater deep. Just didn't execute.
Stoklos easily over the top and down. Well, you're just not going to beat Loyola and Steffes if they have everything in front of them. You've got to hit balls over their shoulders. You've got to serve the ball deep.
36.
Stoklos going to Steffes, still trailing 6-3. And hard cross court. Randy Stoklos playing defense, and Troy Tanner unable to change much of anything at the net.
Maybe right now would be a time to change it. Have Randy go up, soft, serve short, follow it in, move it up, make him think a little bit. Something different. Something change is the hardest thing to do.
Very precise play right now by Steffes and Loyola, siding out pretty effortlessly. Is this when, for example, Tanner and Stoklos lose a little bit by not having a coach?
Maybe. Actually, this weekend, Jim Mingus is not here. He had another commitment, so they're even up on the coaching sides. But Randy has a lot of experience out there, and he should be thinking his way through it. Right set.
And right through, I think that was a field goal. Steffes Satea. Physically, we talked about in terms of peers on tour with respect to athleticism. Jose Loyola, Karch Kirai when he's healthy, Randy Stoklos, but so often played in the shadow of Karch. And now Loyola is the more spectacular player, but Steffes is a package and a half.
He's still cashing the checks and loving it. That's his best thing he does is go to the bank on Monday.
Cashing them, investing them, an avid follower of the stock market, an avid reader.
You got to get him to reach a little bit deeper in the pocket sometimes. So.
You're not the first to pick up the check. They're just siding out so easily right now.
Way too easy. Maybe they're feeling a little fatigue. Stoklos and Tanner. They had a pretty long match before. They could have finished off Karch and AJ a little bit earlier. It would have been great for the fatigue factor right now.
Good. Come on.
Well, Jose Loyola said it as Troy Tanner hits that ball past Jose Loyola. When Loyola talked to Craig Hummer, he said, side out. I thought he was going to say block the ball or jump serve, but it still all comes down to that. You have to be able to keep the other team off the scoreboard.
We're at 6-3, and there's 3 minutes and 24 seconds left.
Hey, it's been boring. Because Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes have been so methodical offensively, and right now it doesn't seem like Tanner and Stoklos can do anything about it.
Well, it looks so easy. They're making it look so effortlessly. Look at him setting up for the pass. Tough jump serve.
Jump survey, Jose Loyola.
Just set up and pretty good separation, but methodically plowing their way. Trailed early, but right now it's all Steffes and Loyola on top by 4. Steffes and Loyola, the #1 seeds, taking on the #2 seeded team of Randy Stoklos and Troy Tanner, maybe on their way to their 9th title of the year. Last week, they got #8 in Chicago at the Miller Lite Grand Prix in Chicago, and Jose Loyola celebrated at the Hard Rock. One of Jose Loyola's corporate partners, and once again the Miller Lite Grand Slam. Was the Grand Prix in the past, my apologies. Landon and Seaman, as we've mentioned, Steffes Loyola, the first 2 previous winners, and then the next 2 coming up at Hermosa, and then the end of the season in Orlando. Of course, those tournaments, those are the qualification for getting into the World Championships. Aces so far, the best team on the beach, leading in that category 2-0, and I'll bet their differential in matches. We've always looked at just aces and errors.
Go, go, go!
Nice chase by Loyola, looking to get to 8-3. Stoklos from the right side, and he puts that ball away off of Jose Loyola. But the point I was going to make, and one we've never really thought about before, is that we see aces and errors, but the differential for Steffes and Loyola is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Watch this athleticism. Nice, good set. Goes with the left hand over. Very difficult to do. A little tight.
Well, that's where Stoklos is up there. Stokey's just turning away because that's no man's land. Because Jose Loyola can tap that ball right over the block. He can tap it deep or cut it cross court.
Maybe go up there with a one-hand Kong block. Get up a little bit higher with that one hand and just try to deflect it over to your partner.
Steffes missing that serve into the net. And, you mentioned that you talked to Randy, and he was probably going to block all the time at 10. Well, I think he better.
That's what I'm saying. When they had that little side-out spell there, maybe try to change it up. Maybe he's a little more fatigued than he thought. We'll see how he comes out of it.
Jose Loyola, and they continue just to be machine-like. Okay, they're siding out beautifully. When you were winning all those tournaments with Mike Dodd, who was the best side-out team that you faced?
Oh, best side-out team was Smith and Stokos back then, no doubt about it. It was either Smith, Stokos, or Halvin and Dodd. And, you know, usually two teams do dominate. And right now, these are the top two teams that are dominating the last four. Nice dig by Jose, excuse me.
Jose Loyola. They're just a machine right now.
It's a doctor's visit. Come on in, let me catch you up a little bit and put you out. Nice dig cross court, and he really hammered that ball. Exclamation point for 8.
Taking off a piece of flesh. No, I don't want to.
Hannibal.
Hannibal Tyson. Nice play on 2, and good read. Yeah, good read from Troy Tanner and Randy Stoklos putting that ball away. It's far from over, but Steffes and Loyola right now look like the Packers playing at their best offensively and defensively.
Jose with a great reaction. Stokey right there. Kaboom. I like going over on 2, especially against a team like this. Catch them off guard.
I would use every opportunity.
And they're coming back right at you.
Oh, that's smart play, because a lot of teams, I'll tell you, the players' tent has ears, and a lot of teams are talking about serving Loyola and Steffes short. So if they do serve you short, just go on 2.
Well, he's got to serve that a little bit. He knew it as soon as he served it. It's a little bit too low. You got to go a little bit higher so you can get there, set up, get over the net, and press block.
Stokey with the flipper and the flopper. Randy Stoklos making a good play, but what they have to do is find a way to create some errors on the part of Steffes and Loyola, or make some points, of course, on their own from the service line or blocking.
They have to manufacture some points somehow.
Tanner and Stoklos have played well. With so much time gone off the clock offensively, they've played very well. They just cannot score.
They're not putting enough pressure on them. They have to figure out a way to get some points. You're never going to get them in bunches against these guys because they're just too strong athletically. They can put the ball away, both of them. And they're both good setters. Was a knock on Loyola before about his setting, but he sets up, he puts the ball in a very hittable position, and Steffes can really bring the heat.
And also Kent Steffes, good passer.
Good passer.
And so that makes Jose Loyola, if that is a bit of a deficiency in his game, that makes life a little bit easier. Banging the ball at Randy Stoklos. Oh. Finals action, mishandled ball by Troy Tanner. Called by Greg Krause, and Troy's going to take a moment and discuss things, and Greg's going to give him. What'd you think of the call?
I think it was a throw, and he left a finger in it, and that's a good call. I mean, he brings it in so deep. As I said before, he really sucks the ball in deep, and when you do that, it's got to come out cleaner. That did not come out clean. Good call by the referee.
And it costs Troy Tanner and Randy Stoklos a point, and now a commanding 9-3 lead.
But I would turn around and yell at him anyway, and hopefully next time, if you don't set it just perfect, he won't call it.
Well, I agree with you, but Troy is a very, very mild-mannered. He's not going to go after Greg Krause.
Well, maybe get Stokey over there. Stokey can throw a word or two around.
He can throw with you when it comes to that.
Oh, yeah.
Tanner, nice turn, and Kent Steffes.
I like this. Right after years you go, that's for you, referee, that's for you. And this one's for you, too.
Nice set on the play by Randy Stoklos. Spike by Tanner, good for a side out.
They got to mix it up. They got to, you know, right now you're down 9-3. You got 2:16 left. Create something. Get their minds off it. You got to go out of your mind. Do something. Change it up.
Right. Just to completely distract or change the momentum or something.
Oh, yeah.
Right to Kent Steffes.
And there's a nice.
Pretty good dig by Stoklos, but just a foot too far and right in the wheelhouse of Kent Steffes for the side out.
It's a very, he has a very weird approach here. He hits it from his left shoulder. It's very difficult to do from that right side. You can see, he lets the ball travel across. He can hit it from his left shoulder all the way to his right shoulder.
Steffes serving. And nice little tap down. And Kent Steffes, you know, really remarkable throughout the course of his career. Last year, MVP and comeback player of the year because, of course, in '95, he had the shoulder surgery that his former partner, Karch Kirai, had. Kent's wasn't nearly as serious. Won 17 tournaments in '94, 18 in '93, and 18 in '92, including tying the all-time record of 13 in a row. Going on 2 once again, and they just are not making any mistakes.
You know who they lost to lose that? Tim Walmer and Scott Friedrichsen beat them out of nowhere.
At Seal Beach.
At Seal Beach. Little trivia for you guys out there in TV land.
That was a good get. Good shot on it. You know, Stoklos would have had a tough time setting that ball.
Yeah, a lot of spin on it. And right now, there's two minutes left. They've got to start creating, maybe going over on 2, digging the ball.
Maybe they could both block. Well, try something.
And that's what they need to do. As the crowd goes crazy.
Well, I'll tell you, once again, and it's not hyperbole, the crowds here have just been fabulous throughout the course of the weekend, but the final has been such a dissection so far that now the crowd is getting going after the back-to-back aces, and Stokey saying, hey, look, I heard you in the quarters, I heard you in the semis, and now I'm hearing you in the finals.
Ace of spades. Randy Stoklos having fun. This is when he needs to do it. 2 big aces brings him right back in the game.
They are right back. Just under 2 minutes to play. And trailing now 9-5. If they can get to 9-6, we've got a ball game.
Down the line, Jose Loyola side out. Kent Steffes, the server.
And doing it exclusively from the service line. Randy Stoklos back-to-back aces.
It served Troy Tanner 17 times. And that's right up the middle. Husband, wife, coming right back at you.
That's just having great tools and another level to go to. Just shifting into high gear. When Steffes and Loyola need a score, they get it and have doubled up Stokey and Tanner. You're looking at Jim Arico, the PA announcer on the AVP Tour, and the thousands of you out there who would like his job, send your cards and letters. A couple of weeks ago in Hermosa, we show you some historic photographs from years gone by. They were courtesy of Robbie Hutas. A word from Robbie about his relationship with the beach.
Down the beach and you get acknowledged by your friends is, I think, like Hobb, Mingus, Matt Gage. So I was part of the scene, you know, like taking pictures. So they tolerate you, you know, every once in a while they play with you. So I think that's the pleasure I got out of it, you know, this friendship, I think.
Some words from historian. Photographically, Robbie Hutas, you saw Will Chamberlain, Ron Von Hagen, Karch Kiraly when he was still in high school, and Robbie was kind enough to share some photographs so we could try to bring out some of the history and tradition of Hermosa and Manhattan. And if you're fortunate enough to come down to South Bay and at a major championship, be it Hermosa or Manhattan or in that area, you'll see Robbie Hutas continuing to take photographs and do great work for beach volleyball.
He has a collection of over 7,000 photographs from the early 60s to present day. Great guy.
Say 1,000 of those. Yeah, 1,000 of them must be of you.
I don't think so.
Well, back to our final. It's Steffes and Loyola. Not early, but middle and late, Steffes and Loyola have been in control. They lead 10-5 and are looking to win their 9th championship of the year.
Total domination right there.
Yeah. Complete domination of the tour so far. Jose Loyola played with Adam Johnson last year, and they were pretty good. They had a very, very good season. They won 7 times in '96 when Jose was Offensive Player of the Year, and 5 times in '95. And so I think, well, we know that Adam was taken aback. He was upset about being dropped by Jose.
Had a few choice words for him. In Tahoe, I think he kind of regretted that.
Stoklos to serve, trying to change things up, get to Kent Steffes. Sharp, hard cross court.
Heavy heat.
Yeah, just a fabulous side-out team. Do they serve better than Stoklos and Smith?
No doubt about it, right? They side out better. I mean, the jump serve plays such an important role now.
Good.
Troy Tanner down the line. A minute and 32 seconds left on our Swatch Watches game clock, and you're looking at 33-year-old Troy Tanner going back, going, you know, I've had a great year. If it wasn't for this one team,
this team's really bugging me.
I'd be right among the leaders. Unfortunately, the team is Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes, who they are playing in the finals for the 4th time. Tanner there with a dig. Right now they have to convert every opportunity they get. Maybe Tanner going for a little too much.
It was a tough set opportunity. Probably should have taken something off it, but you're working off the clock. You've got to put that ball away. He went for it. Nice dig here, lays it out. Randy sees him, bumps him about 10 feet off, couldn't put the ball away.
I think Tanner hits that back set as well as some of the other top players on the tour. He needs things in a pretty good situation. Randy Stoklos with the kill. Stoklos now with 15. Troy Tanner has 17. Serving pretty well evenly divided between Tanner and Stoklos, but they just cannot break down the side-out game of Steffes and Loyola. I know it sounds like a broken record, but offensively, they are just perfect right now.
That's when you're a great team. You just sit there. It looks so easy to do. You know, it's very difficult to side out this many times as they have, holding Stoklos and Tanner to only 5 points.
Well, if you take away the aces,
yes,
when Steffes and Loyola have passed the ball, they got to be siding out at about 95%. There's Tanner, no block. Nice dig by Loyola.
An underhand gator, rarely seen. Another nice dig by Tanner.
Skokie looking to go on 2 is going to go back to Tanner. Nice play, nice defensive play by both teams.
That's the shot that Troy's really developed, that deep, deep line shot. Skokie trying to mix up the crowd.
I think this is a good move.
Oh, yeah. You've got to try to break the concentration of Jose and Kent. Do anything you can do. That's within the limits.
Well, you used to do it
outside the limits.
Yeah. Hey, but it's up to the referee
exactly
to rein you back in. John McEnroe did it, and look at the champion he was.
Push the envelope as far as it'll go.
And then just go a little further.
Yeah, and then stop.
Steffes once again. We talk about him having the greatest line shot on the beach right now. Today, his cross court has been golden as well.
I think Randy's trying to camp a little bit more on that line shot, and then Kent sees the opportunity to have the cross court wide open. He can bring down the drill.
52.9 seconds left in our championship match. Jose Loyola serves that ball just long. Mentioned that there was $20,000 to the winners, $11,400 to the runner-up, $9,030 to the third-place team of Karch Kirai and Adam Johnson. Rob Heiger and Brian Lewis finished 4th.
That could be a good team in the coming weeks. They have good chemistry. Lewis really bombing some serves, and Heiger's just coming into his blocking style.
There's Steffes' line shot over the top, and he and Loyola just continue. See, they're enjoying this, Steffes and Loyola, because they know that they're playing the game at a very, very high level.
Well, Randy just served that ball and followed it in. He might be trying to change it up. It might be a little bit late. We'll have to see.
Shot by Randy Stoklos.
You got to use all your strengths against this team. If you're the stronger blocker, you must block.
41 seconds to play.
Because this team has got too much athleticism and too potent of a jump serve.
Once again, on the year, they are 66-5.
Not many losses.
The last loss was 2 weeks ago in Hermosa to Seaman and Blanton. And that broke a 22-match win streak. They have won 27 out of their last 28 matches.
You know what else happens here? When they keep siding out, using your block, you become mentally tired of going up there and blocking because you're not doing any good.
Well, and also now 36 seconds left and trailing 10-5. It just seems that Tanner and Stoklos, as much as their body would be willing and heart would be hoping to win their first title together, Troy Tanner in his 9th final has yet to win a championship. Stoklos with 122.
Troy might go double figures before getting that first one. Oh, unfortunate.
But he is having a marvelous year.
Yeah.
Certainly one of the most improved players on tour. Last year, he finished the season ranked number 13 on the tour. He's currently ranked number 3.
Oh, going for it again. 4.
Timeout on Stadium Court. 32 seconds remaining. About 32.9 seconds remaining.
Stephenson Loyola in control, 10-5, and just 32 seconds away from their 9th title of the year. They've won 8 out of the first 11 events, and they have been so good and so methodical. It has been a little bit hard for the crowd and yours truly, and I'll speak for you, to really get into this, because Stoklos and Tanner just don't have, in this match, just have not showed that they could break down Stephenson Loyola.
Very, very businesslike. That was a unforced hitting here, rarely seen by Steffes, but very businesslike, dissecting Stoklos and Tanner right now. I mean, their side-out game is so strong, and when they're passing the ball, Tanner goes for the Nolan and Ryan wind up.
He knows he's certainly running out of. That's a foot fault right there, missed by the linesman. He was way over the back line. That side out anyway, so it goes for naught. Troy Tanner trying to add a little bit extra. We're down to 19 seconds. Stephenson Loyola just marching their way through this tournament.
Rarely seen a game like this, 10-5. I mean, it's so good that people don't understand that, you know, to side out this many times is very difficult. It's like a no-hitter, as you said earlier.
Yeah, it's a pitcher's duel. Nice shot. I mean, that is a great shot under pressure. Well, not so much pressure left with only 14.8 seconds, but if you look at Stephenson Loyola, they beat Bullion and Ricky Ludes, the number 8 seed, beat Johnson and Kirai 15-4. Then they beat Tanner and Stoklos in the finals of the winners bracket 15-5. And so not one team this week will get into double figures this week against Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. Randy Stoklos looking for a little intervention from somewhere, but I don't know if he's going to get the help. We'll be back to Cleveland after this. Well, Randy Stoklos always liked center stage, and even though it looks like this cause is lost, trailing Stephenson Loyola, he with partner Troy Tanner, 10-5. Randy playing to the crowd, having a little bit of fun, and wants to savor this. Another trip to the finals, and maybe yet another one next week in Cape Cod.
Make it last as long as you can when you're out there. You don't know when you're coming back, baby.
He needs 4 aces in 14.8 seconds. And gave it his best shot. And Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes now doing their part, saying, look, let's prop up the #1 team in the world here.
Giving you the show. Giving you the show.
Jose Loyola, winner of 8 titles this year with Kent Steffes, $209,000. And now running out the clock. On 2, Randy Stoklos wants his partner, Troy Tanner, to get one more swing. But this championship is in the bank for Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. They will win 9 out of 12 and split $20,000.
Break out the Miller Lights, get the peanuts. It's time to party.
Another foot fault by Troy Tanner. And Greg Krause called it. I don't know what the linesman down here is doing. I'm not sure what he's doing.
He's asleep.
He figures it's over as well, because that's this one wasn't as bad as the foot fault before. The foot fault before, Troy's got about a size 12, and he had about 11 of it in the court.
He's trying to cheat a little bit. Good effort. Jose's going to come back with a bomber.
6.9 seconds left on our Swatch game clock. And Troy Tanner hits that ball just on the back line.
Tanner doing a little Provo shuffle.
Well,
weaning it out.
This match is over, much like a blowout in football or basketball. To give you an analogy, Stephenson Loyola are up by 30 with 10 seconds to play.
And that's it, folks.
Steffes sending that one up into an overflow crowd here in Cleveland. They have won 5 out of the last 6 tournaments, and their 9th title of the year. Steffes won here last year with Karch Kirai. This year he wins it with new partner Jose Loyola. We'll be back to wrap things up from Cleveland after this. The Miller Lite Open at Cleveland has been brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By Honda. Experience the thrill of the all-new Prelude and the new 4-wheel drive CR-V. and by Nike, presenters of the World Championships of Beach Volleyball. Well, another final has been decided in the favor of Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes. They win at 10-6 over Randy Stoklos and Troy Tanner in convincing, methodical style. Paul Sunderland back with Tim Hovland. Oh, it was a little bit still out here, but that's in a way as good as it gets.
It was a dissection, a doctor's visit. This very businesslike. They could not stop him from siding out. That way you can't get points. That way you cannot win.
5 out of 6, as I mentioned, for Steffes and Loyola. Of course, they are featured in our Miller Lite play of the day. They were consistent all day long, and here's a look at the play of the day.
Big block by Kent Steffes, penetrating, showing the dominant power at the net. Just what you have to do to get points. He knows how to do it. He got it done today.
We have just concluded our 13th tournament of the year, about halfway through the season. Next week, if you want to join us on the Miller Lite AVP Tour, we'll be in New England. But before that, here are the BMW Ultimate Finishers in 9th place down this week. Dodd and Whitmarsh. They were good last week in Chicago. James Fellows and Lance Lyons. Also in 9th position, David Swadek and Ian Clark in 9th as well. Kevin Wong and Raul Papaleo in 9th. And Brian Ivey and Eric Fanoy-Moana, a 7th. They got to be moving up.
They've got to pick it up a little bit. Ricky Luty's back in the hunt with Bill Boyan with a 7th place finish. Good to see Ricky back in the money. Canyon Seaman, Dean Glenn, not really happy with a 5th place finish.
Not any longer. A year ago, they would have taken it. Dax Holdren and Todd Rogers, the upset team of the week. The number 20 seeds, they jump up and finish 5th. Rob Heiger and Brian Lewis looking good. They're in 4th. They almost advanced and beat Karch Kirai and Adam Johnson. 5 tournaments together, yet to be in the finals.
Karch Kirai, Adam Johnson. We'll see them again next week.
Yeah, we will indeed. And our top 2 teams, Jose Loyola, Kent Steffes, Randy Stoklos, Troy Tanner. Tim Hovland and I will be back in just a few moments to Cleveland at the Flats, a unique site, but not a different result.